My name is Ikenna Chukwujeku. I'm an entrepreneur, the founder of Edextra Associates Limited, which is a parent company that handles After School Africa, an digital media company in the education space, and also a co-founder of Library Technology Limited, which is a library automation company in the edutech space. Yeah, I would say it started as just me playing around. Actually, I was looking for master's scholarship for Africans, and I was just looking around for it, and I began to realize that there are lots of study abroad opportunities, there are lots of funding opportunities out there for Africans, which a lot of people are not aware of. And myself, I would say, my days in school, I was doing fairly, I wasn't really a dull student. And if I had known about some of these scholarships, somehow I would have wanted to take advantage of them. But I didn't get to know about them and didn't get to take advantage of them. So I felt, why not create a platform that assembles all these opportunities so Africans can take advantage of them? So that was how I created After School Africa. And that has, my interest in education had grown in the course of learning about what's really going on in the education space globally. Yeah, to an extent, yes, significantly, I would say. We have interviewed a lot of students who got scholarships through our platforms, scholarships worth tens of thousands of dollars in UK, Canada, US, across the world. So that in itself is something significant for us. And a couple others, funding opportunities, business funding opportunities, people have gotten to know about them through our platform. So that is something significant I would say would have achieved from that. The first time I made money is quite. I've loved business, you know. So the first time I made money was when I sold a calculator in school, university. So I saw these calculators. The price looked fairly reasonable. So I bought them, went back to school, and sold. I sold one actually, just one of it, and I got exhausted with the whole marketing, and I ended up giving away the remaining ones. But at least I sold. I made money from that. And then when I actually started business after school, I made money from um, selling jewelries. I was selling jewelries in banks as well, um, trying to survive then. So I would say that that would be the major first time I made money apart from university days. I've always been very intentional about my finances. So right from when I started making money, I've always been looking out for how I can make my money work for me. Because you can't keep working expecting to only earn from your efforts and all of that. So I was intentionally looking out for where I can invest money. Tried out fixed deposit. It wasn't impressive. Tried out a couple other investment like investments, um, a lot other investments out there, but I've never invested in Ponzi schemes. I have been very conscious about that. So while I am open to take risk with investing, but I also make sure the risk is well calculated. So it was a journey that got me to rise because of the nature of the business I do, I earn in dollars actually. So I just have my stack of money there, and it's difficult to find where to put the money to be productive. The Nigerian banks are not very friendly with dollar investment. So I tried out once with a Nigerian bank, and the return was not impressive. So I just pulled out entirely. So started looking out for other options. Tried, like I mentioned already, agri investments and a couple other form of investment, real estate as well. until it was my wife actually that introduced me to Rice Vest, and that was during the pandemic. So we're like, a lot is happening in the world currently. So what exactly can one do? So she told me about Rice Vest and a couple other companies like that. We don't have to mention their names. So I looked them up, and Rice Vest seemed like something I would want to, give a try and see how it goes. And I researched the company, looked up the founders and everything, and I decided to jump on it and see how it turns out. And RiseVerse having options, had to take advantage of the different options to see how which of them performs better. And so far, it's been impressive. First and foremost, the whole the ease of moving fund in and out is something that, in fact, it was one of the reasons I ended up with Rise at the end of the day, because since I was moving dollars, I mean, typically most of this platform it's mostly designed to take in naira and all of that. But RiseVerse had that option, and it made it easier for me. So that's something to consider. And then, as far as the best investment option, I often believe that the result of today is not an indicator of what tomorrow is going to be like, because at some point my the stock investment was performing a lot better than the real estate and the fixed income. So at the time, the stock investment was my best option, which made me to add more fund to the stock investment. But then, considering how the stock market has been, which is quite understandable, uh, it turned out to not be the best performing option so far. But from what I have seen over this period of time, I would say the real estate investments is my best option there. It's a difficult question for me, really. It's not supposed to be, but because I am very diversified, my investments are quite diversified. So what I have in Rise, as a matter of fact, is I'm reimagining my goal with it, because initially it was an experiment for me. I just wanted to see how it's going to turn out. So having seen the results in over a year, um, thinking of, okay, uh, how can I increase what I have, so that in a space of say 5 years I could take out what is there and probably use it for a project. Now, what that project is going to be, I have no idea what it's going to be. But at least I know that this fund is insulated sort of from inflation and all of that, and that it's producing returns on a yearly basis. How likely? To start with, have recommended a couple of people to Rice Vest. So my father-in-law is on Rice Vest, my brother is on Rice Vest, and a couple other people have introduced to Rice Vest. So I tell anyone close to me. But when it comes to investing, once I see something that is working for me, I let anyone close to me know about it. So yeah, I tell anyone that cares to listen about Rice Vest. It may not go down well for a lot of people, but I don't. I'm intentional about inflation. Very intentional about inflation. So much so that, in fact, I can be broke as I am right now in naira, because I only have naira when I need to use it for something. So whatever an advice I want to give to anyone is to be intentional about your fund. It would feel good to have a couple of money in your account. You can look at it and makes you feel good, but you are losing money if your money is not working for you. So you have to get to that place where you make your money work for you, at the worst case scenario, that it's at least protecting you from inflation. So even if you are not making huge returns on it, but what you are getting out of it is the money is better where it is today than where it was yesterday. For instance, check the price of cars 2 years ago and what it is today. You find out that that same amount of money that could have gotten you a car 2 years ago will probably not do well for you today. So you have to make your money work for you and not have your money sitting out idle, especially when you are living in a volatile economy as ours.